SaYing no problem is offensive.
Dear every cashier in America, the proper response to thank you is you are welcome, not no problem. And you're supposed to thank me, Tom Nichols. I know this is an old tweet. For some reason seeing this today made me flashback to when I cashiered at Knott's Berry Farm and a boomer yelled at me because I ruined their visit by not thanking them for coming there. I'm a no worries responder and I remembered telling them to have a great day as I handed their purchase to them, but I missed the thanking them part and you're welcome, resulting in a rant. Just a friendly reminder that minimum wage workers are still people trying to do their jobs.
Thank you. Not a problem. Your suppo said to SA your me. Well, now you're both a problem and no longer welcome. Remember folks, this is the same generation that tells you what a snowflake you are and how you're too sensitive and people were tougher back in their day.
It was a transaction, they got something in exchange for something. I really don't understand the entitlement of people like that.
There was a lengthy explanation tied to that tweet going over the divide between boomers with "you're welcome" and younger gens with "no problem." I'd queer I read it though, but it basically boiled down to us younger peeps helping each other and it not being a problem, no problem, to boomers doing something for someone and thinking that they've made the lives of others better, thus you're welcome for my help and support that I painstakingly dedicated to you.
Used to work in a grocery store. Someone startled me with a sudden question once. They weren't in my field of vision and were essentially yelling it at me. I said a quick "huh?" and looked around to see who it was, then got bitched at for saying "huh?" because it's not polite. It's also not polite to bark questions at someone who isn't aware of your presence.
It's well known that this is a generational difference in perception of these phrases. Boomers perceive "you're welcome" to be polite, but "no problem" to imply that helping them was a burden. Younger generations, millennials especially, see "you're welcome" as less appropriate for the situation, whereas "no problem" suggests they were happy to do it. Unfortunately, few people understand that their perception of the world is not universal, and that meanings can change and evolve with time.
Definitely a generational thing. Boomers and Gen X were taught that things like holding doors and business exchanges were transactional behaviors that were almost an acknowledgement of the recipient's social standing in the exchange. "You're welcome" became the expected closing of that exchange. Like saying "thank you" placed them above the other individual and "you're welcome" was acknowledging that hierarchy. They needed the final "you're welcome" to know they were better than the other person, regardless of the kind gesture. Millennials and Gen Z say "of course" or "no problem" because the archaic social hierarchy is dissolving and those behaviors are now expected out of common decency. It's no longer a transactional exchange. It's what's expected at baseline. If someone thanks you, "no problem" is telling them, "no thanks needed." But that doesn't offer the recipient a way to feel more powerful than you.
Edit. This isn't necessarily an indictment of the Boomer or Gen X generations. It's a social exchange they were both raised with. Society is ever evolving, though. Folks that take issue with not receiving the old exchange are the issue raging at the dying light as society moves on without them.
In the case of your customer, I wonder where to draw the line between extreme sense of entitlement and a mental health issue.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize this happens so often. I had a similar experience working a childcare program based out of a Catholic elementary school. The janitor lady, I always thought was kind of rude, but I tried my best to be respectful and kind towards her. One night she stomped into the room I was in as I was putting up for the night and she reminds me to lock the door and turn the lights off. I say, "No worries. Have a good night." All hell breaks loose. Like I did not expect this woman's fury to fall upon me, lol. You know what? STOMP, that's the problem with all of your younger generations. Too lazy to even say thank you. Did your parents teach you anything at all? When someone helps you, you say thank you, and when someone thanks you, you say you're welcome. Quote, "Okay, holy Jesus-shaped Cheetos. Ma'am, it's just words." You can tell I'm being kind and respectful and you can understand what I mean. So why the explosion?
Weird hill to die on, but at least you're dead.
Her visit was going to be ruined by something eventually. A girl with short hair maybe. More than one person's of color. It was inevitable.
The correct response is word.
Would you prefer some groveling? I'm so sorry. I'm not worthy enough to scan your items. Would you like to add a one-knee genuflect and a kiss on your hand? I'm 60. I say, no problem, instead of, thank you, or, you're welcome. You are being acknowledged. Don't worry about boomers. Most won't be around for that much longer. Oh, and we're getting into the season that if you say, Happy Holidays, as a cashier, certain folks flip that you didn't say, Have a Merry Christmas. I'm convinced that manners and etiquette have been hijacked and abused by emotionally damaged and arrogant assholes. No one has the right to dictate what words come out of someone else's mouth. I think this is a regional thing in the States. Sometimes I just give people the double cheek click. Finger guns and a solid, right back at ya. Quote. I used to work at Chick-fil-A and it's ingrained in my mind that, you're welcome, is rude to say. People will never be happy lol. Boomers are literally the most destructive generation in the history of the world.
Boomers are such snowflakes.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.